Hello, it's me again, Alex. As always, it is always difficult to choose a topic and then to just start talking about it. Well, I'll start with the entry of America into World War I. How did the US enter World War I against Germany? Actually, Germany and the US were before World War I always allies. They were considered family practically because in those days they still had a healthy relationship, you might say. They knew of their ancestral past of Germany. Many Americans were of German descent, and many considered them practically as family. So actually they were not keen to go to war against Germany. But the Zionists in England orchestrated the entrance of the US into World War I against Germany because of the Balfour Declaration. They wanted a Jewish homeland. Just check on Google, Balfour Declaration. And how did they do this? How did they get the US to go to war against Germany? They first tried this by trying to get a US destroyer into enemy waters where they knew there was a German U-boat lurking around. The German High Command made all transport vessels who go to England with munitions and weapons, they were considered as the enemy because they were deliberately starving England out of munition and weapons. Actually, Germany was winning the war. Everybody forgets that Germany practically won World War I. They were the masters of the seas, the masters on land, and they gave England a peace offer where they actually said, well, we pulled back our forces into Germany and we give you a fair peace treaty. The English did not have to pay anything like the Germans had to do with the Versailles Treaty. The Versailles Treaty was horrific. In comparison to the German peace offer, the Germans were really nice people then. Again, you have to look on the internet for the exact details. I don't have them in my head. But I researched this like a year back. So the Germans made an incredible nice peace treaty offer to the English because the English had no chance. They had no boats, they had no munitions, they had no weapons to do anything against Germany. And then the Zionists of America come to the English rulership, Rothschild and so on, and say, we will guarantee that the US enters the war against Germany. And how did they pull this out? How did they do this? Well, firstly, they tried it with a US destroyer. I forgot its name. It did get attacked, but it didn't get sunk because afterwards the media found out. In those days, the media was still partially in control of the Gentiles, of the white US Americans. So it came out that the US destroyer was searching for that U-boat and putting itself in the firing line practically. The second attempt, and that was successful, was with the USS Lusitania, or it was not a military ship, it was just a civilian ship full of, passengers, US Americans, but full of munition, weapons and bombs heading for England. You combine a passenger ship full of innocent civilians and full of bombs and munition. And the German High Command even sent a letter to all major newspapers in America stating to the people that do not go into that ship, we will sink it. It is our strategic plan to stop England from having any kind of munition. That was their strategic objective. And that, in a military sense, makes sense. And only one US newspaper actually printed this. So they were trying to warn the US Americans not to go into the NCC Lusitania. I forgot its adjective name. Lusitania. Check it out on Wikipedia. And yes, the Germans sunk the Lusitania, and it exploded incredibly because of so much munition on board. And then the US propaganda, under the control of Zionism, started portraying the Germans as evil monsters, and they wanted war, and the Americans declared war on Germany, resulting in the millions of deaths of German soldiers, German civilians, and not forget, millions of US soldiers. Actually, it doesn't make sense let's say 1,000 people die in an incident, and then you send millions of people abroad to die for that. The start of this First World War is also ludicrous, that only that a prince got assassinated, that we learned in school that some kind of Serbian prince gets assassinated and millions of people have to die. That is the official version on history, and it's ludicrous. It's actually laughable that for one person we create a huge world war, killing millions of civilians, soldiers, manpower, energy, money, and nature for one assassination on a Serbian prince. That is bescheuert. So, the US goes to war in its glory and honor, to defend its glory and honor because of one attack on one US ship, loses millions of people, money and power and credit to these international bankers, because you need money to wage a war. And where did they get the money? From international banking cartels. These international banking cartels finance practically all wars in modern history. And if you check out the Roman Empire, there were assassination attempts back then as well, because the same people back then had the power over Rome. And if a Roman imperator tried to get the power away from these money lenders, he got assassinated. It is the same with Kennedy. Kennedy started printing his own money. Government issued currency. He wanted to stop the war in Vietnam. He actually wanted to pull the power away from these Zionist international banking cartels. Those are 13 wealthy families worldwide who control the world. And he got assassinated. And any kind of attempt to explain this with rational thinking is deemed conspiracy theory or nuts. But the official version is full of loopholes and laughable. So why is it when people start talking over this subject that others react with crazy conspiracy theories? Well, check out my social engineering videos. That is why. And now back to the Lusitania, the ship that got attacked by a German U-boat and that induced the entry of the US into the First World War, resulting in millions of deaths. Well, an incident did occur, and there the US has actually full military right to declare war on Israel. The USS Liberty got attacked in 1976, I think, by Israeli jets and Israeli gunboats to try to provoke a war with Egypt. Well, the Israelis tried to provoke the US to enter a war against Egypt. This is called a false flag operation. And they attacked that ship with unmarked aircraft, but there were known aircraft. There were many witnesses. The people that were on the ship that survived all testified that they were Israeli boats and Israeli aircraft. So, the USS Liberty gets attacked, and this is not even mentioned in the US media. This is a declaration of war, and this is also legally Israel, through the attack on USS Liberty, declared war on America. The USA is, according to this incident, in a state of war with Israel and should handle accordingly. Israel is a small state. They should get punished. So if any kind of US military commander sees this video, it is your duty to declare war on Israel and do what is needed. Ciao.